ever-changing needs. Our heritage spans 40 years in the financial services industry. As a testament to our strong commitment to our customers, backed by stable financial fundamentals, we have been recognized locally and regionally for our achievements.
Hi, I'm Wan Muhammad Izzat bin Yusuf as one of the account executive in M-Bank Berhad. Now I will tell you about the historical of M-Bank Berhad. M-Bank Berhad is incorporated on 5 August 1975. It is formed as Arab Malaysia Development Bank Berhad. It is formed by Malaysia Industrial Development Finance Berhad with their share of 55%. And the second one is Arab Investment for Asia Kuwait with 33% of shares, and National Commercial Berhad in bracket with Saudi Arabia with 12%. It is operated on 1st of April 1976. In 1982, Dato Azman Hashim owned the whole of the 100% of the share with Arab Malaysia Development Berhad. On December 1983, it changed to Arab Malaysia Merchant Bank Berhad, and it is once again rebranding until present to M-Bank Malaysia Berhad in 2002.
Now, we move to the factor to consider for the company to having a segment reporting. These factors are important to ensure segmental report has been done properly and aligned with requirement needed. First one is nature of business activity, where the segment may earn revenue as well as also incurred and expenses. Secondly, if the segment activities must be regularly reviewed by the chief operating decision makers. It's for respective personnel for their resource allocation and also assessing the segment performance. Thirdly, the segment must have relevant information that be able to present to the board of directors for performance valuation. Okay, now we look into the type of segment of M-Bank Berhad. M-Bank is an institution that provide financial and advisory service to SME company and as well as large corporation. There is a variety of the segment such as retail banking, business banking, corporate banking, investment banking, and also insurance. There are respective subsidiaries that control each segment of the bank. Now we look into the chief of decision making, CODM, and also their responsibility. Okay, CODM is responsible to allocate resources to the operating segment, which is making decision on resources allocation to ensure company operation runs smoothly and meet their stakeholder target. CODM also must regularly assess and review operating result and financial information. It will help company have better, clear achievement target. Besides that, CODM responsible to making a strategic decision on the segment. For M-Bank, CODM is a group of senior management that led by Datuk Sulaiman Muhammad Tahir and will help by various other top management level of the company.
How to identify reportable segment and non-reportable segments. There are three types of 10% threshold tests, which are revenue basis tests, profit and loss basis tests, and total asset tests. Reportable segments are the segments that equals to 10% or more. After testing the 10% threshold, the reportable segments are to be tested using 75% threshold test, where the combined revenues earned by sales to external customers in the separately reportable operating segments, which must be at least 75% of the total consolidated revenues across all operating segments. Let us see the findings of the mentioned tests. Conducting all the tests, Revenue Basis Test has produced 4 reportable segments and 3 non-reportable segments, which qualify the requirements requested. Moving on to 75% threshold test, all the reportable segments exceed the amount of 75%, which is 89.41%. The 3 non-reportable segments are to be classified in all other segments category as it do not qualify the threshold test. This is the new segmental report prepared after conducting the revenue basis threshold test. Following the requirements are the 4 reportable segments and non-reportable segments, which has been grouped in all other segments category. The report consists of segment revenue, segment result, segment profit, segment asset, and segment liabilities, which would give an insight to stakeholders and investors. Extracting from the new segmental report are the revenue, expenses, and profit. It can be seen the highest revenue here is the retail banking with the highest expenses, but only producing second best profit. Comparing the year 2020 with previous year of 2019, the total revenue and expenses of all operating segments has increased, but the profit has slightly decreased. These infos are crucial to the company management as stakeholders and investors will use this kind of information in order to evaluate the company for future investments.
Company may use the segment reporting to document the performance of different areas of business. So, let's see the advantages of segment reporting. Firstly, it helps in financial analysis process. Usually, manager will utilize the segment reporting since it helps them with financial analysis. If a company produces a segmented report, they have to provide segmented financial statement to their investors and creditors. Next, to maintain transparency of reporting. Segment reporting may disclose which areas are profitable and which flow at the bottom of business operating in multiple categories or geographic location. If segment reveals that its international activity are more profitable compared to the home operation, it may prompt a strategy shift. When done correctly, it prevents management from hiding unprofitable projects. Lastly, it helps company to make a decision on investment and credit. The information in segmented report allows user to have a better analyze the uncertainty around the timing and quantity of projected cash flow and the risk that related to investment or loan to a company that operates in many sectors and marketplaces. So, let's take a look on the disadvantages of segment reporting. Firstly, company has to incur costs in developing, preparing, and providing segment information to external user, which may incur a high cost. Also, a company has to incur the competitive costs, such as costs due to harm done to the reporting company and its shareholder through a weakening of the company's commercial position. Next, allocation of a common cost. If a common cost is apportioned on a basis which does not reflect a rational relationship, the basis being totally unjustified would produce inaccurate and unreliable segment figures. The problem of allocating common items is greater for some items than for others. Lastly, presenting the result of segment operation to external user could lead to competitive damage. Confidential information would be revealed to competitors about profitable or unprofitable products, plan of new products, or entry into a new market.
Now we move to part B of this presentation, which is interim report according to MFRS 134. Firstly, we talk about a basis of preparation of interim report, where there is a two basis, which is integral method and secondly is discrete method. Integral method is a fraction of the annual report. Meanwhile, discrete method is separate report, which is self-standing and also prepared on periodic basis. For M-Bank Berhad, interim financial statement been prepared in accordance to MFRS 134 that issued by Malaysian Accounting Standard Board (MASB) and also comply to IAS 334 that issued by IASB. This condensed interim report, interim financial statement are not included all of full annual financial statement as per MFRS 101. This report should be read with the annual financial statement for the financial ended 31st March 2020. And also, as part of the requirement, Bank Berhad interim report consists of basic and also diluted EPS. Next is we talk about accounting policies that been used or applied by Bank Berhad in the interim report. First, accounting policy that been used in Bank Bank is MFRS 116 property, plant and equipment, and secondly MFRS 13 fair value measurement. Okay, we take a look on the MFRS 116. According to MFRS 116 PPE, Bank PPE is set at cost and net of accumulated depreciation and accumulated impairment loss. For freehold land where has unlimited life, those it is not depreciated, while depreciation of other PPE been calculated on straight line basis. PPE that initially been recognized is derecognized upon disposal or when no future economic benefit are expected. Next accounting policy that been used on interim report by Bank Berhad is MFRS 13, fair value measurement. Fair value is one price that would be received when the company is sell or paid in transaction between the relevant participant. And most advantageous market must be accessible to the company. MFRS 13 also included that market participant act in their economic best interest. There are three fair value level of hierarchy that been set up. Level 1 is quoted market price in active market. Level 2 is a valuation technique. So the fair value is directly or indirectly observable. Level 3, valuation technique to the fair value is unobservable. Okay, thank you.
Referring to MBank's third quarter of the interim report from date of 1st October 2019 to 31st December 2019, these are the types of reports prepared by MBank Berhad. The reports are all the unaudited condensed consolidated of statement profit and loss, or unaudited condensed consolidated statement of comprehensive income, unaudited condensed consolidated statement of financial position, and unaudited condensed consolidated statements of changes in equity. The last one is unaudited condensed consolidated statement of cash flows. These reports are mainly for evaluation of the company's progress and overview of the financial situation.
Next is the current and comparative period for each statement prepared by the company. Bank Berhad accounting period ended on 31st March annually. According to MFRS 134 interim reporting, the current and comparative period prepared by the company will be measured from 1st October 2020 to 31st December 2020, which is equivalent to the third quarter of Bank Berhad in the financial year 2021. Referring to the interim report of the third quarter, which is from 1st October 2020 to 31st December 2020. For a statement of financial position, the current interim reporting period is 3 months, which is from 1st October 2020 to 31st December 2020. And the comparative statement of financial position for immediate preceding year reporting period is 12 months, from 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020. Next, we move to statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. For current interim period reporting is 3 months, from 1st October 2020 to 31st December 2020. The cumulative for current financial reporting period is 9 months, from 1st April 2020 to 31st December 2020. The comparative of current interim reporting period is 3 months, from 1st October 2019 to 31st December 2019. And lastly, the comparative for immediate preceding year reporting period is 9 months, from 1st April 2019 to 31st December 2019. Lastly, for statement of changes in equity and statement of cash flow, the cumulative for the current financial year reporting period is 9 months, from the 1st April 2020 to 31st December 2020, while the comparative for the immediate preceding year to date reporting period is also 9 months, from 1st April 2019 to 31st December 2019. Next, Izzat will explain on the proposed adjustment made by the company.
In MBank Group, there is several adjustments have been made by MBank Group. There is several of the adjustment have been made by MBank Group is on the fixed asset and another item. In fixed asset, we can conclude that there is two. We can take the example of two items, which is computer software and work in progress of computer software. For computer software, the adjustment made is an additional of computer software, which is amounted to 33,844,000 ringgit Malaysia. Computer software is an intangible asset. Just like computer software, the work in progress of computer software also clarified as intangible asset. The adjustment or reclassification that made by MBank Group for work in progress of computer software is amounted to 58,572,000 ringgit. As you can see, this is adjustment has been made. In MBank Group, there is several adjustment have been made by MBank Group. There is several of the adjustment have been made by MBank Group is on the fixed asset and another item. In fixed asset, we can conclude that there is two. We can take the example of two items, which is computer software and work in progress of computer software. For computer software, the adjustment made is an additional of computer software, which is amounted to 33,844,000 ringgit Malaysia. Computer software is an intangible asset. Just like computer software, the work in progress of computer software also clarified as intangible asset. The adjustment or reclassification that made by MBank Group for work in progress of computer software is amounted to 58,572,000 ringgit. As you can see, this is adjustment has been made, and the total is 1.3 billion for the extract of statement of financial position for MBank Group Berhad regarding their adjustment.